You really just can't make this up. Microsoft releases Windows 11 AI Copilot Vision, February 2025, promising revolutionary productivity through contextual awareness. Buried in the 47-page terms update, one line, enhanced screen context collection for improved AI assistance. Within 72 hours, security researchers discover what that actually means. The AI is taking screenshots every few seconds, logging everything visible on your screen, recording audio when your mic is active, all transmitted to Microsoft's Azure servers. Encrypted, they claim, for AI training. The backlash is immediate and global. Germany's BSI issues emergency warnings. EU launches GDPR investigation with potential 15 billion euros fines. France, UK, Italy follow within hours. Apple stock jumps 15% in 3 days as users panic buy Macs. Bill Gates, dragged into crisis meetings despite leaving leadership 17 years ago, reportedly explodes at executives. This is the stupidest product decision in company history, because this isn't just an AI feature gone wrong. This is Microsoft accidentally revealing they built workplace surveillance software and called it innovation. And now that users know what's running on their machines, the revolt is unstoppable. When the security community dug deeper, February 6, 2025, Dr. Kevin Beaumont, a cybersecurity researcher known for exposing major Microsoft vulnerabilities, is testing the latest Windows 11 update, running network traffic analysis, monitoring what the new AI Copilot Vision feature actually transmits. What he discovers makes him physically sick. Windows 11 AI isn't analyzing screen context, it's capturing screenshots. Every 3 to 8 seconds during active use. Not metadata, actual image captures of your entire display, every email, every document, every password field visible on screen, every private message, everything. The data is encrypted before transmission, but it's going straight to Microsoft's Azure AI infrastructure. He watches his own test data scroll past in packet logs, his own passwords, all captured, all transmitted. He documents everything. Packet captures showing data flow, file size analysis, proving full image captures, average screenshot, 85 kilobytes, 12 per minute, 720 per hour. For an 8-hour workday, 5,760 screenshots. Nearly 500 megabytes of screen captured data per user per day. At 2:47 a.m., he posts on Twitter. Windows 11 AI Copilot Vision is screenshotting your entire workflow every few seconds. This is not AI assistance. This is continuous workplace surveillance. Thread 1/34. The thread goes viral immediately. By 6:00 a.m., 3 million views. By 10:00 a.m., 12 million. Security researchers worldwide replicate his methodology. Dr. Ian Coldwater at Docker. EFF, ACLU Tech Division, European Digital Rights. Every single one confirms the same findings. Microsoft's response comes at 11:30 a.m. My blog post from the Windows Experience team: AI Copilot Vision uses advanced contextual awareness to enhance productivity. All data encrypted end-to-end and processed in compliance with privacy standards. Users maintain full control through settings. The post gets ratioed into oblivion. 42,000 replies. Users aren't buying it. You're taking screenshots of everything on my computer. My passwords when I type them. My private messages. My kids' homeschool lessons. My confidential work documents. My medical records. My banking information. Everything. That's not contextual awareness. That's spyware. All data is encrypted means nothing if you have the encryption keys. Users maintain full control? The feature was on by default. No clear prompt during installation. That's not control. That's surveillance with opt-out buried 5 menus deep. Microsoft attempts a follow-up. February 7th. Tweet from the official Windows account. AI Copilot Vision can be disabled in privacy settings under AI features. We're committed to transparency and user choice. The response is worse. Users point out that the setting wasn't surfaced during installation. No consent prompt. The feature simply turned on automatically. Opt-out buried in privacy settings, nested under advanced options under AI features. And screenshots already captured? Microsoft says nothing about deletion, nothing about retention, nothing about who can access the data, nothing about law enforcement subpoenas. Technology reporters dig into terms of service. Microsoft retains AI training data for up to 24 months. Screenshots fall under that policy. This isn't helpful AI. This is a continuous screen capture with AI as the excuse. And then governments started responding. February 8, 2025. Germany's Federal Office for Information Security, BSI, issues an unprecedented emergency directive. All government agencies must immediately disable Windows 11 AI Copilot Vision. Continuous screen capture violates German data protection law and poses unacceptable security risks. This isn't a recommendation. It's a mandate. Every German government computer gets the feature disabled. Thousands of systems. IT departments working overnight. France follows within 6 hours. ANSSI issues similar guidance. Then the UK National Cybersecurity Centre, Italy's ACN, Spain's CCN CERT, Netherlands' NCSC. By the end of the day, 9 EU member states have issued warnings or prohibitions. February 9th. The European Commission announces an emergency investigation. Margrethe Vestager holds a press conference. If Microsoft is continuously capturing screenshots, including personal data, health information, and financial details, that represents multiple fundamental GDPR violations. Potential fines, up to 4% of global revenue. For Microsoft, €10 billion. The largest GDPR fine in history was €1.2 billion against Meta. Microsoft faces an 8 times larger. Why? Screenshots can capture special categories of data. Health information, financial data, trade secrets, aggravated violations under GDPR Article 9, maximum penalties. One researcher calculates 5,000 screenshots per day with personal data equals 5,000 GDPR violations per day. At €100 per violation, that's €500,000 per day. 1 month, €15 million in fines for a single organization. But fines are just the beginning. EU authorities can ban the feature across all 27 member states, 450 million people, the entire European market. But governments weren't the only ones panicking. February 10th, major corporations respond. Goldman Sachs sends internal memos. Effective immediately, Windows 11 AI Copilot Vision must be disabled on all devices. Evaluate alternative operating systems. JP Morgan Chase issues similar guidance. Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo. By the end of the day, every major Wall Street bank has disabled the feature. Why? Financial regulations. If AI screenshots employee workstations, it captures customer account numbers, transaction details, social security numbers, everything. That's unauthorized data sharing. Violates Dodd-Frank. Violates Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. Violates Basel III. Banking regulators could fine institutions billions. Then hospitals respond. February 11th. Cleveland Clinic disables the feature. Johns Hopkins follows. Mayo Clinic. Mass General. HIPAA requires healthcare providers to protect patient information. If Windows 11 screenshots doctor workstations, it captures patient names, diagnoses, treatment plans, everything. That's unauthorized disclosure. Penalties: $100,000 to $50,000 per violation. One screenshot with patient data equals one violation. Do the math. A hospital with 1,500 computers. Screenshots every 5 seconds. 720 per hour per computer. 5,760 per day. Multiply by 1,500, 8.6 million potential violations per day. At a minimum of $100 per violation, $860 million per day in fines. Dr. Rachel Morrison, cardiologist at Northwestern Memorial, reviews patient charts all day. She found out AI was screenshotting her workflow. Immediately stopped using her workstation, told her department chief. I cannot legally practice medicine if this system is transmitting patient data to Microsoft. Northwestern IT spent 52 hours straight, disabling the feature across 3,100 workstations. Law firms realize that attorney-client privilege is compromised. Corporate R&D realizes trade secrets are captured. Within 2 weeks, more than 60 Fortune 500 companies have disabled the feature, but institutional consequences don't capture the human cost. These are the real people whose lives Microsoft put at risk. Sarah Mitchell, a domestic violence survivor in Portland, Oregon. Hiding from an abusive ex-husband for 3 years. New address, new phone number, new email. She rebuilt her life. Uses Windows 11 for remote work. After the scandal, she realized what AI captured. Her new address, typed into Amazon orders. Her new phone number in Calendly. Her therapy sessions on BetterHelp. Private Signal messages. Everything. If her ex worked at Microsoft, or knew someone who did, or if data leaked, he could find her. Screenshots of everything she typed. She spent 4 days formatting her computer, switching to Linux, and changing every account. Starting over because Microsoft screenshotted her life without consent. Michael Torres, investigative journalist in DC. Covers national security. Communicates with whistleblowers inside classified programs. He uses Signal encrypted messaging. But if Windows 11 screenshots before encryption happens, Microsoft has everything. Source names visible in chats, information shared, documents referenced. His sources are compromised. Some have security clearances. If foreign intelligence access this data, sources could face prosecution. Decades in prison under the Espionage Act. He published an article, "Microsoft made me a threat to press freedom." Says he can never trust Windows again. Every journalist he knows is switching to Linux. Dr. Patricia Vance, a therapist in Austin. Session notes visible on screen while typing were captured. Patient names, diagnoses, protected under confidentiality laws. She spent 2 days migrating to Linux, notifying every client that their confidentiality may have been compromised. These aren't hypothetical. Real people whose safety and rights Microsoft endangered for AI training data? Inside Microsoft, panic was just as intense. February 12th. Bill Gates pulled into an emergency board meeting. Hasn't run a company since 2000. Hasn't been CEO since 2008. But when Microsoft faces an existential crisis, they call him, "The meeting is chaos." Satya Nadella and Windows leadership defending the decision. AI needs contextual training data. Screen capture provides the richest context. This is the future of AI-assisted computing. Board members aren't accepting it. According to sources, Bill Gates exploded. This is corporate suicide. Whoever approved the default on screen capture without explicit consent should be fired. Microsoft spent 50 years building trust, and Windows destroyed it in one update. How could anyone think continuous screenshot surveillance was acceptable in products used by hospitals, banks, governments, and journalists? Why wasn't it opt-in? Nobody had good answers. Gates told the board, "Kill the feature entirely. Not just easier to disable. Remove it from Windows. Issue a public apology. Offer data deletion tools. Hold executives accountable." The board agreed, but damage was done. You can't unring this bell, because the feature wasn't just screenshots. Here's what makes this nightmarish. Researchers found screenshots were just an obvious capability. Deeper analysis revealed AI collects far more. Screenshots every 3 to 8 seconds, audio recording when the mic is active, 6-second rolling buffers are captured when AI detects speech. Clipboard history, everything copied in the last 60 days. Application usage tracking down to the second. Website logs, including full URLs. Peripheral monitoring, webcam activation events, external drive connections, all encrypted, all transmitted to Microsoft Azure. Dr. Patrick Wardle analyzed network traffic. Windows 11, with Copilot Vision, transmits 450 to 650 megabytes per month per computer. Not metadata. Full data, screenshots, audio clips, clipboard text, everything. Company with 1,000 employees, 650 gigabytes per month of employee activity data flowing to Microsoft. This isn't an operating system with an AI assistant. This is a surveillance platform that happens to run applications, and consequences are just beginning. February 18th. First class action lawsuit files. Northern District of California, representing all US Windows 11 users. Allegations: illegal wiretapping, Computer Fraud and Abuse Act violations, state privacy law violations, seeking $45 billion in damages. By February 28th, 67 lawsuits across the US, UK, EU, Canada, and Australia. Federal Trade Commission announces investigation. FTC can fine up to 10% of revenue, $24 billion. The Department of Justice opens a criminal investigation. Executives could face prison time. UK Information Commissioner announces largest GDPR enforcement, can fine £9 billion. Multiple US states file lawsuits. California, New York, Texas, Illinois, each seeking billions. Total legal exposure, $90 billion. Meanwhile, users flee Windows. Linux market share jumps from 4.3% to 6.9%. 60% increase in 2 months. Ubuntu servers crash from traffic. Mac sales explode. The highest 2-month sales in Apple history. MacBook Air backordered 7 weeks. Pro, 9 weeks. Enterprise migrating. Goldman Sachs, transitioning 38,000 employees to macOS. JP Morgan deploying Linux for 28,000 workstations. Deutsche Bank evaluating a complete Windows elimination. Microsoft stock drops 31%. $780 billion market cap lost. This is what happens when surveillance becomes the product. Microsoft decided AI training data was more valuable than user trust. Built continuous monitoring into Windows. Enabled by default, hoped users wouldn't notice. Users noticed. Researchers exposed it. Governments responded. Customers fled. Trust destroyed. This thoroughly doesn't rebuild. If this opened your eyes to what Microsoft actually did, share it, because they're calling this an overly aggressive productivity feature. It wasn't overly aggressive productivity, it was AI-powered workplace surveillance, disguised as innovation.